Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other
we have
rights
Mr.
reserved.
Weil here up from Calgary, and he is going to wow your minds. Let me tell you a little bit about him. Professor Wael Badawi, business leader of tomorrow, top 40 under 40 in business, is an international award-winning speaker, author, and trainer. As a multilingual speaker, he has lectured to more than 1.5 million entrepreneurs, business leaders, students, and scientists in technology, innovation, business, and entrepreneurship. Over his career, Wael has founded 23 international companies and operations ranging in size from 1 million to 128 million, and has led 8 national entrepreneurship initiatives and programs. Wael received at least 73 international awards. 73. I'm still working on one.
I'll get you one.
Okay, great. Contributed to 18 books and proceedings and has 21 patents and 600 peer-reviewed papers and publications. Please welcome to the stage Wael Badawi. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay. Can you hear me like that? You good? Okay, so welcome to my presentation, and I want to start with the following, because we don't want to waste time, right? We understand that we are in small business. Canada, Government of Canada, Statistics Canada, out of Government of Canada will say that 97.9% of us are a small business who will have 1 to 99 employees. We understand that we are, how many of you here have more than 4 employees? Okay, so if you have more than 4 employees, you basically are not within the 95%, but you're still within the 97%. The biggest challenge I want to talk to you about today is this pain point. These are companies which used to work and we used to live by its products. How many of you here misses Sears? Okay, and believe me, when somebody will tell me go buy something from Sears, I say, why? It's not a good store at its own time. But we used to pick from their few things which cannot be replaceable. That's right. We found out that closing out and companies are closing down because they cannot run more business, they cannot co-op with the technologies, they cannot attract more audience, is one of the biggest challenges in our market. Do you agree? How many of you here is concerned that next year they will not be in the same business? How many of you have a worry of that? Okay, there are a few hands here. And the one who did not raise your hand, I will meet you outside to know the truth, okay? So to any presentation, we have to set up some targets, and this is the target which I will talk about today. How many of you here has interest to engage audience? What does it mean, engagement? Okay. If you have, how many agree with my good friend here? Do you agree with her? Okay, I will share with you the real meaning of engagement towards the end of this presentation, okay? How many of you here wants to expand their reach? And how many of you here wants to increase their sales? And how many here wants to maximize profit? All of you, right? And you would like to receive immediate results. To sneak a peek in this presentation, this actually the 4 steps which lead to maximize your profit. If you can engage your audience, if you can expand your reach, if you will increase your sales and you will sell more, or you will sell at a higher price. That's right. And this is how you increase your profit. So I'm done with this presentation. Thank you very much. This is a secret sauce. Do you need more? Okay. So if you need, did you hear? Somebody said yes? Okay. Can I hear loud yes?
Yes.
Okay. So today I will talk about tripling your business through high conversion, and this is the art of science of selling one-to-many. What made me competent to talk about this particular topic is I raised for my last company $7.2 million grants, not investment. I've been professor, as you heard from me, since 1994. I was in a very big stadium, very big audience and students, and I usually identified as somebody out of the box doing something different. And people will engage with me. During my career, I built few things, very few things, because my hope was much more. However, you can see me on covers of magazine, and this is this one here from the migrant is the one closest to my heart. Because when you come back from your country 23 years ago, after 22, they identified me as a scientist in the Migrant magazine. So I'm happy with it. The top one is the Business in Calgary magazine, and this photo is the last award I received from Immigrant Service Calgary for my business and my innovation. I'm also author, which is I'm not proud of, because as a professor you always write. But I found people like, yeah, we are an author. I am an author. Yeah. I wrote 20 some books, maybe 11 of them are in business, and I will be giving at least out one today. And I have few samples here if you want to see them. I have a bonus for you, and this is what we'll learn about today. What does it mean selling one-to-many? What is the audience autonomy? And what is the top challenge to have a higher conversion? So the very simple definition of one-to-many is this setting. How many of you here use this setting to promote or sell or talk or do anything in their life toward others? How many of you? Okay? And how many of you feel this is painful? Painful, yeah? And how many of you see individuals who come to these meetings and they don't buy your product? So one of my customers, Mariana, she sells Psych-K, and she uses the techniques which I will share with you, and she will able to convert 8 to 9 of every 11 audience. She was able to convert 4 to 5 of every 7 audience. In the past, she used to convert 2 to 3. Okay. How many of you using this model? Is it working for you? Like, can you convert 30-40% on this model? Usually you can't. My top performing individual customer, he will have a testimonial later on, he was able to use this model and convert 40 to 50% of the webinar. This is the way to go, and what I will share with you will be very relevant. And how many of you use this model? So do you know what this model about? This model is selling one-to-many. If you have 3 or more in the room, what I would say, it's very relevant. As a matter of fact, what I'm saying here is very relevant if you have 2 in the room, and I will share with you why. Okay? So I will talk about what are the top 5 challenges you face in these settings. And do you agree you have challenges in these settings? In terms of conversion. All what I talk about is conversion. And conversion, by the way, does not mean money. It means something else. I'll explain it in a minute. So, do you understand your audience? How many of you here understand their audience? So, when you really understand your audience. So, do you talk to the audience and they convert right away, like 100% conversion? If you don't have 100% conversion, you don't understand your audience. I had 117% conversion of one room one time. And it was in a location, the first time I presented, everybody in the room came to me and said, oh, I can sign my friend, I can sign my friend, I can sign my partner. And I walk away with more forms with credit cards on it than the number of audience in the room. So we understand that when we talk or when we set up presentations or when we have words on our website or our marketing material, like any of this marketing material, We are looking for people to have actions and results. That's right. And the action can be what? Coming to my next event, sign up to my program, buy this, buy that, give me a feedback form. However, what's happening is people don't comply because people having their own selected attention, people having their own attention, and they don't care about how much you want to say. The technique I used with you in the very beginning, it's one of the techniques, is to get the whole room to convert to it, to agree on what is the pain they are facing, and to agree that they want to sit in to listen to me. That's right. How many of you here have in their back mind what will happen at their booth after I started in the first five slides? Please, if you understand this technique, and I will have these videos live, like, because I'm recording everything. I record everything I do. I will have these videos for you, so you can even go and review what I did. And use something very similar. Don't start with who you are and what's your why, because I don't care. I only care when. When I know you are the one who understands my pain point. Do you agree that I understand your pain points? Does anybody here does not agree that I understand some or all of your pain points? Can you raise your hand? Do you agree or not? Do you agree? That's right. Are you now interested to know who I am? That's why I came with my name and my title later on. It bugs me personally, and as a professor, I like to share my knowledge for no reason other being doing good for the community. When you start talk about how good you are and what you do, because we don't care. If you start to talk about what the problems you solve and what you solve to your customers, and I have the same problem, I will come to beg you for your contact. That's right. We also understand that people, when they have their own goggles, we call it, or glasses on to understand what are we saying, they always interpret them with their own biased mind, with their own biased interpretation. If they have somebody has a bad experience, you will be classified as the bad suppliers. So if somebody will come and say, I'm doing like law of attraction, like 80% of my customers are in the alternative medical or alternative medicine modality. 80%. I train Reiki masters. I train past life regressions. Very interesting businesses, which is I may not believe in it as my religion. Okay, I have a religion, but I see the value and I push them because I see how they impact people's life. So I skip over everything I could believe in, because what I believe is we are good here to serve people in a good way. That's it, to make people happy. That's why I can work with people like from Light News. They do like integrated chakra therapy. These are my customers, and we help them pushing their business forward. So what we understand is if somebody come and say law of attraction, and somebody went to something similar and had a bad experience, what they will have in their mind. Law of attraction is not good. That's right. So you have to understand, when you say a word or you set up an event or people come to your booth here, they will be seeing you in this way. They will receive from you with their selected attention. They will interpret everything you say based on their biased interpretation. Then what will happen, which is we don't like to happen, is people will repeat. And this repetition, which is the node we add here as Win Your Brand, this is our innovation in this model, is this repetition is killing us, because you will have my presentation today, and then what will happen? You will have your self-talk, you will talk among yourself with your friends, and you go to Mr. Internet. Social media and internet and online access is a reality, and people will check you out there. And if you don't have a good presence, will I pay you the premium? Did you hear my question? My question was not, will I buy from you? I don't care you to buy from me. What I care is, will you get the premium price? Majority of the time will be not. So this is the influence point which you have to understand they do exist. And you have to balance them in your business. You have to find out ways to have a strong presence in each one, in the self-talk, So how do we have in the self-talk a presence? By providing them information, by doing follow-up, by providing them access to following material like recording and stuff like that. So if they have their self-talk and they want to go reviews, they have. You plug people in communities and you have a good word about you, people will have the talk with others and they will know that you are good. If you don't have presence on the internet, sorry ma'am, my mom is more than 76 years old. She's in Egypt. And she connect over social media to connect with me and my sister. And she start now to use the social media. And she start now, yeah, I didn't call you because I know you were good, you were sharing this and here and that and stuff like that. So the statistics showed that within less than 2 minutes, if you are exposed to a new brand, you will look it up online. Not only Google, there is Bing, there is Yahoo, there is so many. There is 152 social media outside there. And my coming book is listed in all of them. And I control them from my phone with an email. These systems exist. You can use it. You don't need to be computer geek. I know my good friend here is a computer IT local here in town, and I recommend you to use it because he did an excellent job for me. However, it's not a barrier for you to jump on. You can have access to these tools at the simplest way you can do, because each one of you can send an email, that's right? Then what will happen after that is people will retain about you what they retain about you. Few of you met me in the morning and they found me like a very light guy, just joking around. I'm very serious, by the way. I don't come to joke. But when I found out when I crack jokes and be funny a little bit, people will always remember me. 2-3 years down the road, they will come to see me. And all what I need to serve people. This is my mission, serve people. So when they come to see me again, I serve them. There is one good friend of mine, she's hosting me tonight and I'm working with her on her presentation. That's it. Because I like to serve. So when people retain about you, it's very important to understand how you can influence a retention. That's why we always call it, you need to have a customer support. You need to have a follow-up. You need to call back. You need to say, what are you doing here? After this process, people will have their own feelings and thoughts. And their own feelings and thoughts will drive their own behavior and actions. And then at the end, you have these complex cycles. What I will talk about today is how to break these complex cycles in a very simple way. If you let your customers or your audience or whatever you have going through these cycles, you don't have a business. Sorry. So one way to break this is to stage a message. This is a sales process. How many of you have a sales process in their business? So do you understand how you get your audience from being, not sure even where is the supposed to be a laser beam here. Do you know how to get your general through your audience, through your target audience, through your lead, and you end up having customers paying? The C is the client, the customers with the one with the dollar sign, then the upselling, and then the referral, and then retired customers who they didn't deal with you for the last 6 months or 1 year, based on your definition. Do you have a process like that in your business? For people who raise their hand, do you have a button on your website saying buy now or call me now for make a call now for a strategy plan or something like that? Okay, anybody has this and they said yes, we have it, you don't understand this business. Because people at the very beginning, as general audience, they are not ready to buy now. They are not ready to connect with you to be prospects. So these cycles are not magic. I did not come with it. This is something we learn. And what hurt me is, with subject matter experts like you and practitioners like you come to business, we never have been trained in sales. And even if you have training in sales, you've never been trained how to sell information products and experience. And this is one of the cycles which people fail. People usually say, yeah, I want my website to sell. What are you doing? I'm offering a new modality. How I will buy without actually going through the whole process. If you can craft your message, if you have every one of these stages must have a handout online or handout as a paper, doesn't matter. Each one of these stages must have process, how you call. So what we do in our business is we basically help people to structure these messages, and we have a playbook blueprint where people can just fill it, and once you fill it, it will be customized on your business. The fellow I'm running his
Personal branding to me means getting a concise message that is
I'm not sure if
pinpoint
loud enough.
accurate about who I am and who my ideal client is. So that's really what I think personal branding is about, and about the people I want to align in my life. My biggest challenge in personal branding is knowing who I am and knowing how people see me. I think that's probably my biggest challenge, because how we see ourselves is not necessarily how other people see us. So that's probably my biggest challenge. So what I learned was how to share my values, my purpose, and my passion with my audience in a structured message. And that is going to be so helpful moving forward in my advertising. My biggest takeaway was about sharing who I am, so that people can assist me in becoming who I want to be at a bigger level. How I will apply this is to share who I am with people so that I can align with people who are of the same values. And that's going to be important moving forward. To know the value of who I am and who I want to work with. So that's going to help me align with those people to help me play bigger. I think my message is definitely going to be more concise, more to the point, more who I am and where I want to go with my business.
Anybody here know who is this gentleman? So this is Shams Kerouac. He's a hypnosis, past life regression, and PSI trainer. If you need more of this information, you can actually download our app. We have a mobile app as Win Your Brand. So you can go to winyourbrand.com/my-app. You'll be able to download our mobile app and you'll access information. The second part is you are not, the fourth challenge is you are not in control of your customers. And to explain it in a very simple way is people communicate on a brain level, logic. People communicate with their heart. People communicate with their guts, and people communicate with their feet by steps. Who here feels good about being here? And who here thinks it was good to be here? There are people who did not raise their hands. Because when I say how do you feel, it's different than how do you think. But the question is how you feel, what do you do, and how you think is the same question for three different people. Majority of us will be coming from accounting, bookkeeping, administration assistants, nursing, that's right. If you are from this portfolio, you are dominant in heart and the steps. They always tell you how they do it, they never tell you what's the impact of it. So this kind of conduit, we call it the decision dominant dividers. And if you don't understand how you can communicate your message in this way, you are leaving the other parties away. I will skip this testimonial because lack of time as usual. And I want to go to the third challenge. The third challenge is you don't know how to trigger your audience to buy. How many here is willing to ask for the sale? Okay, and why you are doing it? Because I told you to do it. Here we say, how are we doing it? People are triggering for 4 different pieces of information. People are triggering based on behavioral, emotion, engagement trigger. If you engage them, you can trigger them. You can trigger them based on value, not because they are greedy. And to trigger on them based on value, you have to talk to them about how valuable is your offer and how credible is your modality and how you are the credible one to use it. This is a characteristic of a CEO or somebody on the top chain of a business. People will trigger on the relationship. Remember, guys, when they told us about relationship selling and multi-level marketing and networking, stuff like that. So when people will do relationship selling, they will know you, so they will buy from you. People can buy based on time. And time to delivery is one of the biggest challenges we always see. That you are not telling people when they will get results. People also can buy based on information, how much knowledge they have and what's the process. And the point I want to say here is the emotion status can vary based on they are obsessed, they are having hard time, or they have good time, or they are neutral. Language has to be different. So you need to have 4 languages for every product you have. If you want to understand this, if you go to winyourbrand.com/yourholisticearth, YHE, you should be able to download the tool. When I teach this concept to Shamir, who is the HeartMath guy, he told the people, he was able to convert 50-60% of the rooms. Okay, I know, just give me 2 minutes, okay? He was able to jump from 8% to 52% of the room, 67% of the room, because he applies these tools. I will skip this testimonial as well. The last part is how to get your audience to act. To get your audience to act is to challenge them, And when you challenge them, you use this model. If you have these 7 pillars, if you have these 7 checkpoints in your presentation, you give out information, you are consistent, you have authority, you have social proof, and you get people to commit, people will buy from you. This is a gentleman who I made him to jump from $40 million to $110 million revenue, and he's receiving of this export award, and I will share this on my presentation, the nice words he said about me. The last question is, who is the first challenge? The first challenge, guys, is you, because you are aware of all of this information. That's right. We went through this. And now what are you doing next? You will go back to whatever you are doing. So out of my love to this nice lady, because I believe in her way, what I'm offering actually is here. We are offering a 6 weeks online course, and this will have a workshop after it, and we will be helping each one of you, if you are selling one-to-many or in presentations, to craft their messages. If you have a presentation, it's great. If you don't have a presentation, we can help you set up one. If you have a presentation, we'll show you how to take it to the next level. There is a price attached to it. However, because she allowed me for more hours, there is a price to it. I can show you the price for it if you but because she's doing what she's doing now for me, I'm not even asking you to sign for any money. So there's $200 we're supposed to sell it for. I'll give it to you for completely free. If you want to push your business forward in the holistic area, I have the forms you can sign. You say zero signing fee. You come 6 weeks online. We will have a 3 days workshop, VIB included in Calgary, and we will help you market your webinar seminar as well. And after that, if you want to work with us, you can work. If you don't want to work with us, you say, thank you, Diane, for helping us here and pushing your business forward. Thank you very much, and this is my presentation to you.
Free. Did you hear that? Who wouldn't be? That's one of those brain dead offers, as Karen would call it. Like, gotta sign up for that, right? So what a gift, you guys. This guy is very smart if you didn't pick that up already. So take advantage of that free offer. I'm telling you, it's amazing.
Copyright 2017 Win Your Brand. All rights reserved. This video is subject to copyright owned by Win Your Brand. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this video is expressly prohibited, unless Win Your Brand has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.